Welcome back to American Latino TV, where we celebrate American Latino pride. I'm your host, Belky. People don't usually associate Mexican culture with Africa, but an exhibition now touring the U.S. is changing the way we think. In fact, Africans have made significant contributions to Mexican culture for 500 years. Now this important historical information is coming to light.
When we think of Mexico's past, Aztec culture is probably the first thing that comes to mind. However, the African presence in Mexico is often overlooked. The fact is that Africans have been an integral part of Mexico's history for centuries, something that the Mexican Fine Arts Museum in Chicago felt compelled to bring to light.
In 1997, down in the Costa Chica area of Mexico, they had their first Encuentro de Pueblos Negros, which is sort of a gathering of the black communities in Mexico. And the following year, in 1998, the Mexican Fine Arts Center Museum went down there to see what was going on. Soon after that, we realized that we had to do an exhibition about the African presence in Mexico and do one that would really incorporate everything, basically almost 500 years of Mexican history.
The African presence in Mexico began with the arrival of slaves who were brought over by the Spanish. It is estimated that as many as 300,000 Africans were forced into labor in Mexico, particularly in the areas of Costa Chica and Veracruz. The exhibit shows artifacts and information about these tumultuous years, including stories of popular heroes like the renegade slave Yanga.
Yanga was an enslaved African who escaped and moved up to the mountains of Veracruz. From there, he set up 2 or 3 different camps, and he would actually attack the Spanish as they walked across the Camino Real. Eventually, he was so successful that the King of Spain signed a treaty with him, and by 1609, Yanga established the first free African community in all of the Americas.
Other sections of the exhibit are equally exciting. There are case lithographs from the 1800s that clearly show the mixed racial makeup of Mexican society. An extensive documentary section uses portraits from as early as 1910 to depict African presence in the country. Finally, the African influence in modern culture is represented through fine art, folk art, and pop art.
Something as Mexicano as menudo, one of the most popular recipes or dishes in Mexico. Menudo has African influence. A lot of the music, some of the words that we use are very African. Every Mexican knows chamba. Chamba means work, and that is an African word also. Many Mexicanos don't realize how strong the African presence is in their own families. I think a lot of people will be really surprised to find out that some of their tios and tias and grandparents share this African ancestry.
The African presence in Mexico, which has toured to other cities in the United States and Mexico, reaffirms the belief that people have more in common with each other than we sometimes realize.